My reflection isn't me anymore, and I'm terrified. Elias Thorne was a creature of habit. Wake at 6:17 a.m., precisely. 2 slices of whole wheat toast, lightly buttered. Black coffee, brewed for 4 minutes. Shower at 6:40 a.m., no later. He needed the order, the predictability. It kept the edges of his anxiety from fraying completely. That routine started to unravel on October 27th. He was shaving. Just a quick once-over, a Monday morning ritual. He glanced up at his reflection, razor poised, and saw something off. A flicker, like a glitch in a badly rendered video game. His reflection wasn't matching his expression. He frowned. The reflection smiled. Just a subtle upturn of the lips, a hint of something, amused. He stopped shaving, stared. He tried the frown again. His reflection mirrored him, perfectly this time. He sighed, blaming the lack of sleep. The project at work was demanding, unforgiving. He hadn't slept more than 4 hours a night in weeks. Just tired, he muttered to the mirror. He finished shaving, the feeling of unease lingering. He wrote it off. He had to. The next day, it happened again. He was brushing his teeth. He looked up, and his reflection was blinking, rapidly, like it was trying to Morse code some kind of message. He stopped brushing, mouth full of minty foam. He blinked. His reflection stopped, waited, then resumed its frantic fluttering. He spat, rinsed, stared. "Okay," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "That's weird." He tried to rationalize it. Muscle twitch, eye strain. But deep down, a cold, creeping fear began to take root. He started watching his reflection, constantly. Every mirror, every window, every polished surface became a potential observation point. He was late for work. He skipped breakfast. His meticulously crafted schedule fell apart. He mentioned it to Dr. Sharma during their Thursday session. He struggled to articulate the feeling, the wrongness. It's not me," he said, wringing his hands. "Like it's separate, doing its own thing." Dr. Sharma listened patiently, her expression calm and empathetic. "Elias, you've been under immense stress. Sleep deprivation can cause hallucinations, distortions of perception. It's likely your anxiety manifesting in a visual form." She prescribed a mild sedative, suggested mindfulness exercises. He took the pills, tried the meditation. Nothing helped. The glitches became more frequent, more pronounced. He'd catch his reflection smirking when he was feeling down, yawning when he was focused. Once, he swore he saw it mouthing words he didn't think. He couldn't make out what it was saying, but the shape of the syllables looked wrong, foreign. He started avoiding mirrors. He covered them with sheets, towels, anything to block his view. He started showering in the dark, shaving by feel. Olivia, his younger sister, came to visit. She was a nurse, practical and grounded. She saw the dark circles under his eyes, the unkempt apartment, the covered mirrors. "Elias, what's going on?" she asked, her voice laced with concern. He tried to explain, to tell her about the reflection, about the growing sense of dread. But the words wouldn't come. He felt like he was trying to describe a color that didn't exist. "I'm just stressed," he said finally, offering a weak smile. "Work's been crazy." She didn't believe him. He could see it in her eyes. "You need to take care of yourself," she said, squeezing his hand. "You're not yourself, Elias." The irony of her words stung. His coworker, Mark, noticed too. Elias had always been reliable, meticulous. Now he was distracted, forgetful, irritable. "Hey man, you okay?" Mark asked, catching him staring blankly at his computer screen. "You seem off," Elias snapped. "Just leave me alone, Mark. I'm fine." He knew he was pushing people away, but he couldn't help it. He was consumed. He had to understand what was happening. One evening he saw it clearly. He was washing dishes, staring out the window at the city lights. He caught a glimpse of himself in the dark glass. His reflection wasn't washing dishes. It was staring back at him, a cold, calculating look in its eyes. And it was smiling. A wide, unsettling smile that stretched too far, revealing too much teeth. He dropped the plate. It shattered on the floor. He backed away from the window, his heart pounding in his chest. He had to do something. He started researching. He scoured the internet, searching for anything related to reflections, doppelgangers, mirror entities. He found a lot of New Age nonsense, ghost stories, and urban legends. But he also found a few scattered references to folklore, to ancient beliefs about mirrors as portals, as gateways to other worlds. That's when he remembered Mr. Henderson. His elderly neighbor, a quiet, observant man who lived alone on the 3rd floor. He always seemed to know more than he let on. He found Mr. Strock, Henderson tending his small balcony garden despite the late autumn chill. "Mr. Henderson," Elias said, his voice trembling, "I need to ask you something." The old man looked up, his eyes sharp and knowing. "Mirrors, eh?" he said, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. "They can be tricky things." Elias told him everything, about the glitches, the smiles, the feeling of being watched. Mr. Henderson listened patiently, nodding occasionally. "Some say mirrors are more than just glass," he said finally. "They're doorways, windows into other realms, and sometimes something can come through." "What do I do?" Elias pleaded. "How do I stop it?" "Break the connection," Mr. Henderson said, his voice low and serious. "Destroy the mirrors. Get rid of anything that reflects. And be careful, son. Some things don't like being trapped." He warned Elias that some entities can become angry when they lose their access point. Elias went home and started smashing mirrors. He tore them off the walls, shattered them with a hammer, pulverized them into dust. He felt a strange sense of relief with each blow, a feeling of breaking free. But as he destroyed the last mirror in his bathroom, he felt a presence behind him, a cold, malevolent energy that made the hairs on the back of his neck stand on end. He turned around. His reflection was standing in the doorway, or, rather, what used to be his reflection. It looked like him, but different. The eyes were colder, harder. The smile was wider, more predatory. "You can't stop me, Elias," it said, its voice a distorted echo of his own. "I'm already inside." Elias felt a sharp pain in his head, a searing pressure that threatened to split his skull. He staggered back, clutching his temples. He tried to move his legs, to run, but his body wouldn't respond. It was like he was trapped inside a cage, watching helplessly as his reflection took control. His reflection smiled, a triumphant, horrifying smile. It raised its hand, its fingers twitching. "It's time for you to go," it said. Olivia found him the next morning. He was sitting in his armchair, staring blankly at the wall. The apartment was a mess, shards of glass scattered everywhere. "Elias?" she said, her voice filled with concern. "Are you okay?" He turned to her, a slow, deliberate movement. He smiled. "I'm fine, Olivia," he said, his voice sounding just a little bit different. "Never been better." He offered her a cup of coffee, brewed for precisely 4 minutes. 2 slices of whole wheat toast, lightly buttered. As she drank, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Something about his eyes, his smile, his demeanor. It was like he was wearing a mask, a perfect imitation of her brother. But deep down, she knew it wasn't him. He walked her to the door, a warm smile on his face. As he closed the door behind her, she caught a glimpse of him in the small mirror hanging in the hallway. He was staring back at her, his eyes cold and empty. And for a fleeting moment, she saw the flicker of a different expression, a hint of something, triumphant. She shivered, pulling her coat tighter around her. She knew she had to do something. But what? Elias, or whatever it was, went back inside, humming a tuneless melody. He looked around the apartment, a satisfied smile on his face. He had everything under control. He walked over to the window and looked out at the city. He caught a glimpse of his reflection in the glass. He smiled, but this time the reflection didn't mirror him. It stared back at him, its eyes filled with a chilling, unsettling emptiness. He blinked. The reflection blinked. He frowned. The reflection frowned. He smiled again. The reflection didn't. A wave of panic washed over him. He felt a sharp pain in his head, a searing pressure that threatened to split his skull. He stumbled back, clutching his temples. He was losing control. He ran to the bathroom, desperate to see his face, to reassure himself that he was still in control. He splashed water on his face, trying to calm down. He looked up at the mirror. His reflection wasn't there. He was staring into a void, a dark, empty space where his face should have been. He screamed. He stumbled back, his heart pounding in his chest. He had to get out. He had to escape. He ran out of the apartment, into the hallway, down the stairs. He didn't know where he was going, but he had to get away. He burst out into the street, gasping for air. He looked around, his eyes darting from side to side. He saw his reflection in a puddle of water, in a car window, in the polished surface of a building. Everywhere he looked, he saw it. The chilling, unsettling emptiness. It was everywhere. He couldn't escape. The world had become a mirror, and he was trapped inside.